Nike is one of the most recognized and reputable brands in the world. So it's no wonder the world reacted when the brand released a controversial ad featuring NFL free agent Colin Kaepernick.
So don't ask if your dreams are crazy. Ask if they're crazy enough.
But it's not the first time Nike waded into controversial territory with its ads. Here's how Nike learned from its past to turn an emotional national conversation into dollars. Kaepernick is known for sparking a movement within the NFL after he took a knee during the national anthem at a 2016 game to protest oppression and police brutality in America. President Trump weighed in
to say, get that son of a off the field right now, out, he's fired. He's fired!
Reportedly donating over $1 million to charity. The internet went into an uproar when Kaepernick posted a Nike ad on Twitter with the words, "Believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything." People who were strongly against Kaepernick announced their intentions to boycott the brand on social media. By the next day, shares of Nike stock dropped roughly 3.2%. President Trump tweeted his dismay for the marketing campaign, stating, "Nike is getting absolutely killed with anger and boycotts." And later, what was Nike thinking? While it seemed like Nike's campaign could have destroyed its brand, it ended up working in its favor, at least in the short run. In the days after the ad launched, the company's online sales jumped more than 25% before coming back down to earth. That's because advocates of Kaepernick and Nike's message banded together to buy more Nike gear. This isn't the first time Nike made a social statement in an ad. The brand has historically taken a stand on issues, and it's almost always resulted in a rise in sales. In July 1988, it released its first Just Do It campaign when it addressed ageism featuring octogenarian Walter Scott. The campaign completely transformed Nike's revenue, increasing from $877 million in fiscal year 1987 to $1.2 billion in 1988. Profits almost tripled from the year before, and then were up another 139% by 1990. In the fiscal year, revenue increased by 15.4%. In August 1995, Nike released its If You Let Me Play ad, which supported women in sports and brought up the issue of gender equality.
If you let me play sports,
I will be more likely to leave a man who beats me.
Earlier that year in February, Nike featured openly gay, HIV-positive runner Rick Munoz in its Just Do It campaign. International sales rose 36% in fiscal year 1996. Of course, commercials aren't the only thing to drive sales, but they help cement the Nike brand at the center of sports and society. In December 2007, Nike touched on disabilities.
I'd love to really, but I can't. I just can't.
Featuring Paralympic medalist Matt Scott of the U.S. Men's Wheelchair Basketball Association. Revenue grew 14% in fiscal 2008 year to $18.6 billion. Revenue dipped slightly in 2010, but 2012 brought another surge when Nike again touched on gender equality with its Voices campaign.
people aren't used to women being so passionate. It scares them.
Revenue rose by $3.2 billion in 2012 over the previous year. Since then, revenue has been on a consistent upward climb, while the company continues to raise social awareness with ads like "What Will This Say About You?", "Find Your Greatness," and equality. So what was Nike thinking? While most big brands try to avoid controversy and huge risk, Nike embraces it. Despite the negative feedback these ads may receive, Nike might not be sacrificing much.
I see a lot of startups these days who are indeed starting with sustainability just built in from the beginning. We have a different challenge, which is we are retrofitting an old model. But at Nike, we're lucky because we like to disrupt ourselves. Now, we're a really fast-growing company, so we have a massive footprint. You know, we serve customers all over the world. We have a value chain that stretches around the world. If you narrow it down, the first thing we do is we obsess the data. So we obsess where is our footprint. So then we narrow it down further and we say, well, what are those key materials? Well, it's cotton and it's polyester and it's leather. Well, how can we think about reducing their footprint? And that's where our innovation acumen comes in. So we come up with solutions around moving to organic cotton or better cotton. We're even looking at radical alternatives to cotton. We're in the factories. We're even down to the raw materials, thinking about how can we do this differently? How can we reduce those limits and that old thinking and transform and serve the customer?